Hey everyone, welcome to Mike's Podcast, Episode 2. Still working on that name. Before I get into today's topic of the day, I just wanted to first thank you guys so much for all of your support. I received a lot of comments from people and just overall support on the last video I did, and that means a lot to me. It means I'm definitely going to be pumping out a lot more of these videos, so stay warned. But don't worry, today's video is a happy one. It's a content one. You'll hear a much different Mike Ippolito this time around. I eventually will be getting to football. I will be getting to the NFL. But the way I want to do this, I don't want to have these videos. I guess they're turning into videos now because I'm putting them on YouTube. But I don't want to have these clips take too long. So I'm going to try to focus on one topic per video. And I promise I will get to the NFL. But guys, I got to talk about the Yankees. And for all you Yankee fans out there, what a turnaround it has been since my last video. I mean, if you didn't watch any of the baseball, you can hear it in my voice. I mean, I just listening back to what I recorded, I was so angry at Joe Girardi and just the team, how they played, how they gave up, how their inability to play in the clutch, how wrong I was. Because let me tell you, what a great performance by these young Bombers in these last 2 weeks. And I was trying to debate on when I should post this video, when I should record, whether it was after sweeping Cleveland at home, winning games 3 and 4, after I vilified Girardi and lambasted the Yankees. I could have recorded it there. I could have recorded it when they beat Corey Kluber in Game 5 in Cleveland, when they came back and hit him again. That, to me, showed the maturity and strength and resilience of this team. But I wanted to wait. Until we got into the American League Championship Series. I wanted to wait to see how they would play against Houston. Arguably a better team. I mean, to me, between Cleveland and Houston, it's kind of a push. Both teams are really talented. Cleveland have the advantage in the bullpen. I think Houston has the advantage with their lineup a little bit. But overall, it's a push. And the way that series started, you were a nervous Yankee fan. Going down 0-2 in Houston. And to be honest with you, that was expected. I didn't expect them, at least to beat Dallas Keuchel in Game 1. I think that was a given. Keuchel against Tanaka in Game 1 in Houston. It really didn't hit well. That was the highlight of both games. I should apply that to both games. I mean, that Yankee lineup was shut down. And I started raging again. I started getting upset. You had young hitters who really just seemed out of place. I mean, Judge and Sanchez, those two games looked horrible at the plate. And I was upset, and almost rightfully so. But you got to remember, these guys are young kids. And the fact that they're playing this level of baseball right now where they are is incredible. The fact that this team, which has a bunch of young players, is playing as clutch and as resilient as they are right now speaks to the maturity of this team. It just shows how bright the future is. I mean, this team is going to get better in the future. But anyway, what I was saying there was, so Game 1 and Game 2 didn't look hot. And then you had an identical situation as you did with Cleveland. And I'll tell you, watching Game 3 and Game 4 and Game 5, and just to watch the fight of this team, how this team doesn't give up, it's just so awesome as a sports fan. I mean, I am so proud and so happy for this team, the way they're playing. And you have to be as a Yankee fan. Because again, this was a team that wasn't supposed to do anything this year. It was supposed to be a rebuilding year. Supposed to be a year where young players get their kinks out, and just how this team has overachieved and is now one win away from going to the World Series. I mean, that's incredible when I think about that. These Bombers could be playing in the World Series. Now, obviously, we don't want to push it. There's still a lot of baseball to be played. They have 2 games left. They're playing in Houston, but just the way they play, I'm so happy for them. Anyway, so I'm kind of rambling here. So back to analyzing Game 3, this homestand against Houston, because that's what I want to focus on, right? Yankees are coming off losing the first 2 games in Houston, and doubt starts to creep in about Judge and Sanchez. Judge not being able to hit in the clutch all year long, Sanchez both defensively and offensively. On a side note, that play by Sanchez, in Game 2, dropping that ball, that Didi throw, the bang-bang play at home plate was terrible. I mean, there's one thing about Sanchez. He's got to work on his defense in the offseason. But, again, topic for another video. So, anyway, we're at Game 3. You got CeCe Sabathia on the mound, who has just been excellent after Yankee losing streak. It's unbelievable. He's 9-0 this year That was a stat that Susan Waldman said on the radio when I was listening. But the 9-0 after Yankee losing streaks, make that 10-0. He pitched fantastic and did everything he needed to do. He shut down that great Astro lineup. And then Judge answering the call in this game. Again, calling him not clutch. That's all he needed. He needed me to rant about how he wasn't clutch. Because he played great. First of all, he has that great catch in right field where he bangs into the wall. He also had a diving catch in the game. And he had a big home run. He had a big home run to really put that game out of reach. Obviously, the Todd father started the rally off with that poke job that barely got out of the ballpark. I think they said that was the Yankee Stadium was the only stadium that ball would have gone out of. But Todd Frazier puts him at 3-0 spot with that 3-run home run to right field. Judge clinches it with a huge home run. Yankees win that game, and the momentum is back, and you start to feel it. And let me tell you something. There was a 2-1. I had high hopes for Game 4. And Game 4 was one of the greatest baseball games. One of the greatest innings I've ever seen in my fanhood. I was 8 years old in Game 7, 2003, the ALCS Yankees Sox, the Aaron Bleepin Boone game. So I don't remember it too well, but this game rivaled it. The way they came back and fought. Obviously, that game's probably a little higher because that was a sure elimination game. When you think about it, Game 4 was every bit of elimination game. The Yankees had to have won that game because then they were facing Game 5 against Keuchel. Elimination, they had to win out to move on. But again, that game starts with Sonny Gray on the mound. Obviously, when Sonny Gray's pitching, there's one constant, and that's that the Yankees will struggle to score runs. I mean, did you hear the stat? Apparently, in Sonny Gray's postseason career, now he has 4 total starts now after Game 4. He has had zero run support at all. No one on their team can score runs apparently when he pitches. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because they get annoyed watching him pitch. Because I will say, it is kind of tedious to watch him pitch. He nibbles the outside corner, a lot of balls in the dirt. And then he's just so slow to the plate. But anyway, big game for the Yanks. Lance McCullers is on the mound. I'm feeling pretty good about the game. They got to beat Lance McCullers. Lance McCullers was an all-star this year, but he had a pretty mediocre second half in the stats I saw. I can't say I watched a lot of Lance McCullers play this year, but game starts and they just can't hit him. They can't do anything against him. It's nothing. I believe in the 5th inning or in the 6th inning. I apologize. They're both cruising. Gray and McCullers are cruising, and then Gray leaves with, I believe, the bases loaded. It's either base loaded or first and second. Then Robertson comes in. Anyway, Robertson with the bases loaded faces Yuli Gurriel, and he hits a bases clearing double. And it's heartbreaking because you're like, wow, 3 runs. Right now, the Yankees don't look like they can score anything. How are they going to make that back? And then the Astros tackle another run with Castro with just a terrible error. Castro has been really bad defensively. You got to question his future at second base for the Yankees. Again, that's a video. That's a topic for another video. I'm planning on doing an off-season video. I'll put that after the season's over. But killer error from there, and he's been bad at the plate in this game. But anyway, let's set the stage here. The Yankees are down 4-0 in the 7th inning, and McCullers is cruising. Aaron Judge, has got to answer those critics still. I think after Game 3 with that home run, he was like 1 for 4 in that game, even with the home run. So he's hitting about 130. Gets in the plate and hits a Aaron Judge vintage bomb to center field. It was almost identical to his first home run in his career in his first at-bat, where he launched to center off of the Mohegan Sun sports bar out there. I mean, then Judge makes it 4-1. Then Sanchez has a sac fly in the 7th inning. So both those guys you can start to see, coming around what you like to see. Then the 8th inning comes. And this 8th inning was just some of the best baseball I've ever seen. To all you listeners out there who are, listening and aren't the biggest baseball fans, first of all, why are you listening? Second of all, but if you're not the biggest baseball fan, you gotta watch. You gotta really appreciate that 8th inning of baseball. If you go on YouTube and watch Game 4 of the 8th inning, because that 8th inning was absolutely tremendous. Tremendous baseball, great play, clutch hits for the Yankees. And let's set the stage in that bottom half of the 8th. Todd Frazier comes up to the plate, hits a single, and then Chase Headley pinch hits and finally gets a hit. Pinch hits for Romine because he was catching. Again, that comes back to my whole Girardi thing. I really wanted a third catcher on this roster so they could comfortably pinch hit for Romine, but obviously it didn't matter in this game. But Headley finally hits. You have second and third. Gardy gets the run in. It's 4-2 4-3 at this point. Then Aaron Judge answers those critics, hit the ball off the wall, gets the runs in, ties the game, and you are jacked up if you're a Yankee fan. I was going nuts because remember they were down 4-0, and the way McCullers was pitching, you thought this team was hitting them. Especially with the way the Yankees hit all the series, minus Game 3, you did not think they were scoring any more runs, but they did. Judge did that double. And then Sanchez comes up. The guy, I think, was 1 for 16 at this point. Maybe 2 for 16. Had some RBIs, 1 for 16. Laces that double in the right center gap. And, I mean, that was bliss. Score 4 runs in the 8th inning, 6-4. And then Chapman comes in, seals the deal. They win Game 4, 2-2. And it was just amazing. Then you have Game 5 where, Dallas Keuchel on the mound. And part of me, see, this was my thought. Game 5, I'm like, all right, so Dallas Keuchel's on the mound. The Yankees have hit these aces pretty well in the past besides Dallas Keuchel. Dallas Keuchel has had their number throughout the playoffs. But they've hit the aces. They've hit Chris Sale all year. They hit Corey Kluber twice in the playoffs. I'm like, maybe they'll have a shot here. And they did. Bird mashed him, Judge mashed him, and Sanchez mashed him, all with big hits. 5 runs against Keuchel. They win that game. And Tanaka was brilliant. Brilliant. Dominates. Shut that team down. That lineup is a very good lineup. The Yankee pitching this series has been incredible. They're starting pitching. And Tanaka now has pitched himself into a situation where he can now opt out of his contract. At the beginning of this year, the first half, Tanaka was on a player option, which means he can leave if he wants to think he can get a better offer. He started this year, was terrible. I'm like, wow, the Yankees are stuck with Tanaka because there's no way he's opting out. But now he has pitched so brilliantly in the playoffs that he has earned the right to opt out. He is probably going to opt out, and the Yankees have to sign him. Again, a topic for another video. Let me tell you, postseason starting pitching counts. They need it. That's where you should pay out the wazoo for guys who can pitch strong in the postseason. I mean, look at the Red Sox. Red Sox are paying David Price $30 million a year, to pitch regular season baseball and be mediocre in the playoffs. Now, granted, he did pitch some good, relief innings, but again, the playoffs you want him to start. So that's why guys like guys who can dominate the playoffs, you got to sign them. Again, a topic for another video. But folks, I really probably should have waited to the end of this series to make this video, but I am just so excited, guys. You have 2 more games, and I'm a guy, I don't like to, I'm a little bit superstitious with this. I don't like to call things. I don't want to jinx anything, but Yankees are up 3-2 going into Houston, and you have to feel good about that. With Severino and then Sabathia pitching Game 6 and Game 7, and they're going to face Verlander, but they're not facing Verlander and Keuchel in Game 7. And you have to like their chances in that Game 7 if it comes to it. Now, hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully they can beat Verlander. But if it comes to Game 7, and you have Sabathia on the mound, you have to like their chances. You have to stand by that. And then, folks, we're 1 win away from the 8 greatest words in the English language. The Yankees are going to the World Series. All right, folks. This is probably going a little longer than I wanted it to, so I'll stop it right there. But I wanted to thank you guys again for tuning in. You will hear from me pretty soon. It depends on how this comes out. But once again, thanks so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys next time on Mike's podcast. Again, still working on that name. Take care.